Have you ever wondered what a savvy real estate investor looks at in terms of forecasting future real estate activity? I'm going to share with you the top 4 things on my dashboard that I look for in any real estate market. First of all, a shout out to the data provider, and that is the Kansas City Regional Association of Realtors. As you know, I'm a licensed broker in the state of Missouri and Kansas, and so we're very appreciative of the data that they supply to us so we can do all this in-depth analysis of what's going on. The first thing we look at is average sales price. One of the things that you may remember me saying often is that real estate doubles in value every 20 to 30 years. In the Kansas City marketplace, we typically see it doubling every 20 years in the areas that we're investing in. The graph that you're actually seeing on screen now validates that. You'll see that the average sales price of a home in 2004 was $150,000, and we just hit $300,000 in 2021, which obviously is a 17-year timeline. So just inside those bounds of the 20-year average, we've actually done better than normal in the last 17 years, clearly doubling in value with the average resale home, which is the green line you see on the graph there. The other thing that you need to notice is that the actual year-over-year change of value has increased just from 2020 to 2021 of 10 to 13%. So all of those of you that bought properties last year, you've actually already gained about 10% from the activity just in the last 12 months. Exciting stuff. The second thing that I look at when I'm analyzing data is the difference between the list price and the actual eventual sales price of a home. As you guys know, we actually list the properties over $200,000 on the open market to sell and to flip. Most of our inventory is full turnkey rental property that's around $150,000 to $160,000 a month. But we're always interested to see how the flip inventory on the back end of the market is stabilizing compared to the original list price. The interesting thing to note on this graph that we're showing you is that in the worst part of the market in 2009, 10, and 11, it dropped down to around 87 or 88% of the actual list price of the property. But just look at that steady climb, that consistent climb from 2011 all the way up to 2021. You can see that in the summertime of 2021, we had a crazy good time where we actually were averaging around 103 or 100% of lists. That means we were getting multiple offers, and you would typically have to put in a highest and best offer that would need to come in at around 103 or 104% on average of the original list price. Now, I think where things will stabilize in my mind is somewhere around the 97 to 98%. A good agent will know the market and will understand that they should be pricing it effectively. So although this data is less important for rentals and investments, it's certainly an indicator of where the health of the market stands with regard to the flip inventory on the market. The third thing I look at is average days on market. It's hard to remember all the way back to 2009 and 2010 and how bleak that time was. The last decade has obviously been very, very kind to real estate. But if you look at this graph, you'll see that back then, the average days on market was actually exceeding 200 days. Think about that. It's well over 6 months of a home sitting on a market waiting to sell. And now it's just plummeted down to what was in December of 2021, just 22 days. In fact, this summer, it was only 2 weeks. 2 weeks for a property to sell on average. That's just crazy fast and is leading to the lack of inventory on the market. But clearly the days on market is something that's absolutely outstanding. The one thing that I would say is that's really unfeasible for it to continue to stay down this low. And I see days on market trending in the wrong direction. It will likely stabilize around 30 to 60 days as a healthy marketing time frame. So that's certainly what we're budgeting on inside SBD housing. Now we come down to the fourth, final, and most critical component that I'm looking at as far as forecasting the health of a real estate market, and that is inventory. A healthy real estate market has 5 months of inventory on the market at any given time. Currently, the pendulum has swung way over here where we only have 1 month of inventory. In fact, just 3 weeks of inventory on the market. That's down year over year from 2020 to 2021 by about 40%. We used to be at 1 month of inventory on the market, or 1.3. Now we're down to just 3 weeks of inventory on the market. For comparison, in a healthy market that we saw in 2003 and we saw in 2015, a balanced market, it's normally around 5 months of inventory. In 2009 and 10, we swelled to have around 11 months of inventory on the market. So you can see it's almost like a pendulum that swung from 11 months back to 5 months, and now we're out to less than a month. That will be the one key determining factor that I look at. As soon as the inventory starts swelling to get to around 2, 3, or 4 months of inventory on the market, we know that the market has shifted and is going back the other direction. So there you have it, my top 4 things. One thing I'd like to point out about the Kansas City marketplace in general is the stability of the market. The graph we're going to put up now highlights the fact that the average sales price of a home, both new and used, has just slowly and gradually increased over time. As I said earlier, doubled in value in 20 years' time, sure. However, you see clearly that there is a summer-winter cyclical nature of the market, but it's just the slow, steady turtle wins the race. Your property will double in value in 20 years' time. Oh, and by the way, if it's a rental property, someone else is going to pay that mortgage off for you. Hey, but that's my 4 things, guys. What I really want to hear of is, what are your things that you're looking at? What indicators do you have? When do you think the market will correct and potentially go the other way? If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and as always, give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. We'd love to impact more people.